CAA Hoops Weekly presented by Under Armour here at the Showplace Arena on quarterfinal Saturday. And here with familiar face, Jody Lavin-Patrick. And Jody got to call a couple games today, and we'll get to the ones that you were on the call for here a little later. But let's begin. It was about 9-10 hours ago. JMU, we got to see them for the first time in this tournament. And Jody, the top seed really seems to struggle in the quarterfinal game as they look to get their legs under them. They haven't played in over a week, and we saw that a little bit today before JMU was able to pull away from Towson.
Well, Towson played pretty well last night, so they had the warm-up game, I think, what that helps. And JMU had 9 days off, and Kenny Brooks said either the rest helps or you get rusty. And I think we saw that rust. Though they did jump out to a quick 10, 12-point lead early on. Then they coasted. Towson came back. Did a very nice job defensively. Sierra Webb hit some deep threes late as well. They never gave up. And I think that they wanted to finish, not only trying to win the game, obviously, but to finish the season out strong, and they did. So they really did a nice job against Madison. But yes, it was a little bit of rust, and I think that now they're glad that that game is over.
Yep, and JMU will advance to the semifinals and the second quarterfinal matchup today. We got to see Elon for the first time in a CAA women's basketball tournament, and they impressed today against UNCW.
Oh, absolutely. And Charlotte Smith, leading Elon in the first year in the CAA, has done a fabulous job. And for a 4-5 game, it really, those games sometimes can be very, very tight. Well, this one really wasn't. I think Elon took control early. UNCW in the second half had a nice run, but they really took over inside and outside. So I think Elon has really stepped up more so than anyone really thought was going to happen this year. And they earned the 4th place spot, and they did a very nice job in the 4-5 game today.
Now they'll advance to the semifinals to take on the top seed, JMU Dukes, at 1 o'clock on Comcast Sportsnet tomorrow. And as we take a look at that matchup, Jody, you know, it's JMU team, you know, they've been talked about all year long. And of course, like we said, Elon, the newcomer, you know, you got to wonder, maybe is the stage going to be too bright for them, or can they catch JMU on a bad day?
Well, one of the things that happens in these games is the pressure is on that one seed to play better than they did today. So there is no pressure right now on Elon. They're new to the league. They're 4th seed. They're doing well. I think that the pressure, you know, we'll see what happens. Will Precious Hall come out a little bit harder? She played well in the second half today for Madison. They need her to start out right away, I think, right from the beginning. Angela Mickens, I thought she had a very good game for Madison. I think they need her right away. But so I think the pressure is on Madison. I think they always know it, you know, that bullseye's on their back. But Elon's inside presence as well, they've done a nice job all year, and I think that that's where it's going to be won. I think it's going to be won in the paint. So they have to rebound well and try to get second chance points. They do that, they're in it, you know, with 5-6 minutes to go. I think it's anybody's ball game.
And now we go to the evening session this evening. We begin with Delaware Drexel, the 7th seed Delaware Blue Hens taking on the Drexel Dragons. And you know, we look at this matchup before. We were talking before the game. It's like, gosh, we're used to seeing this as a semifinal or championship matchup. It's hard to believe it's a quarterfinal matchup, but someone's going to have to go home. So, and that team ended up being Drexel, the 2 seed.
Yeah, and a 2-7 game for these two teams, it was sort of mind-blowing. No one ever thought that it would be 2-7. And the 2 games that they played during the year were only 3 and 5 points wins by Drexel. So I'm sure Denise Dillon was not looking forward at all to playing a Tina Martin Delaware Blue Hen team today. Beating somebody 3 times in a season, all of those things, I think that was stacking up against Drexel. They came out very, very slowly. They had a 14-point deficit. Denise Dillon at one time you looked at a team and said, is anybody going to play defense out there? Delaware really had everything going both inside and outside. Now, of course, it became a game in the second half, and the way it was a game was Sarah Curran. She stepped up for Drexel, both inside and outside, but Delaware just had too many answers, especially inside. I think that they did a very nice job, and outside, you know, with their they're not really a 3-point shooting team, but they were able to play both inside and outside and took control.
Absolutely. So Delaware will advance to the semifinals once again. A great job by Tina Martin. They ended the regular season on a 5-game losing streak, coming in here, pick up a couple wins on back-to-back nights, and they'll advance to take on a Hofstra team that led wire to wire against William & Mary. A very impressive outing by the Tribe, or the Pride. Pride, excuse me.
Yeah,
yes,
no, I know.
yes.
Pride and
Yeah,
Tribe.
Pride and
We
Tribe.
had
Yeah.
during the game with Kurt. We had that a couple times. A 3-6 matchup. We didn't know what to expect, and I think that since they did split, Hofstra won on their court during the regular season. William and Mary won down in Williamsburg, so they were 1-1. You know, they were both feeling pretty good coming into this, but Hofstra really stepped up right away. But what I feel really was the difference in the game was the first 5 minutes after coming out of the locker room at halftime. Right away, Hofstra just, both inside and outside, really took over. And Angie White, pretty much, she had a double-double again, and it was a career high. I think she tied a career high with points. She was the difference inside. And William and Mary went with a small lineup for the good part of the second half. And I think that Hofstra took advantage of that much more than they were prepared to. I could tell that they were surprised that it was a small lineup they were going against. So Hofstra really dominated and earned the win, and will be very interesting tomorrow.
And let's talk about that matchup a little bit here. Hofstra and Delaware, of course, the winner advances to the CA championship.
Really feel that in the post-conference, I felt that there's something between these two teams. I think both coaches said it's going to be a very physical game, so I think we're going to see full court pressure by both. I think Hofstra did a little bit tonight. I think we'll see a little bit more tomorrow. And but that win again, just take out who. It doesn't matter what the seeds are. This is going to be a very physical game, and I think both teams are going to try to push the ball up the court and it seize the tempo right away, because the inside part of the game will really demand that to happen when it comes to possessions, and I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, it should be an exciting semifinal Saturday here at the Showplace Arena in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Remember, the games begin at 1 and 3:30 tomorrow. JMU and Elon at 1 o'clock. Followed by Hofstra taking on Delaware at 3:30. You can see these games on Comcast Sportsnet. If you do not have Comcast Sportsnet in your area, it will be simulcast live on ca.tv. Catch the broadcast on there. Jody, thank you very much. We look forward to having you on the call tomorrow, and we'll be back here to recap all the action on Saturday and get you ready for the championship on Sunday.